What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Life's a Garden. Today's positive motivational message is stay disciplined. I heard a really interesting quote this past week, and it went something along the lines of, self-discipline is the greatest form of self-love that you can have. And what that's saying is, by denying yourself certain pleasures, by pushing yourself to achieve goals, by pushing yourself to be better, whether that's physically, mentally, self-improving. You have to push yourself. You have to be disciplined. And by doing that, you are showing yourself love because you're gaining things. But even by denying yourself things, I mean, obviously there are things out there, there are pleasures in life that we enjoy and we love, but they are bad for us. So by denying ourselves those pleasures, it's actually helping us. It's actually improving us. And that's what discipline is. You have to be disciplined to deny yourself something. And you're doing it because you love yourself, because you want to improve. It sucks to force yourself to take time away from certain other things to focus on a project or to focus on goals that you have. It sucks to take time away. It sucks to put physical labor in to improve our health and to improve whatever it may be in our lives. These are things that are very hard, and you have to be disciplined in order to achieve them. But by being disciplined, by pushing yourself to achieve those things, you are therefore showing yourself how much you love yourself because you want yourself to succeed. So that's the focus this week. Staying disciplined. Because if we do that, we are showing ourselves the love that we have. And it's a perfect time, really, to be disciplined. With the New Year's resolutions and with everybody having New Year's goals in mind, if we can stay disciplined, we can make those goals reality. So that's the focus, and we're going to take that positive energy, and we're going to roll it right on in to today's episode. It's episode 184 of Life's a Garden. Oh, yeah! Looking good, feeling good. It is the new year, and so, of course, and I did mention this last week, that I was going to be focusing more on health-related things, which is something I do every year, right? Stop me if you've heard this, right? Stop me if you've heard me talk about how I'm going to change my diet and I'm going to work out more and I'm going to get healthy and I'm going to, all this shit. I've done it, I've said it, and I've failed at it time and time again, right? Nonetheless, I'm back on the train. I'm working hard. I haven't really got back in the workout routine. But currently, I am 5 days no alcohol. I'm 5 days clean eating as of recording this. Now, let me go ahead and I'm going to tweak. I've tried different methods in the past. I've done Sober October. I've done, full on fitness months, things like that. And it ends up kind of just crashing and burning. Like, I go hard for a solid month or maybe even 2, and then it just all crashes down. I know myself well enough to know that I'm going to crack. I'm going to crack at some point. I'm going to have a beer. I'm going to have a sweet treat. See, 5 days, no bread, no sugar, no alcohol. Feeling good, though. Honest to God. The energy yesterday, I'm a little tired today. The work week finally snuck up on me, and I think I'm just a little exhausted. But other than that, my energy levels, I'm not groggy. I'm not like, drowsy, I guess. Like, I'm physically tired just from working and whatnot. But I'm not like drowsy. I'm not like lackadaisical feeling. I'm not bloated feeling, that's for sure. So overall, I feel great. And I know that. I know that's how it goes. I've done this before. I've done this little dance. And it's like, you can't, I don't know why you just forget. It's like, oh shit, if I like actually eat decent half the time and work out consistently, hey, I might actually feel good all the time. This goes back to the discipline thing. You got to stay disciplined if you want those things to last. Because if you fall off the wagon, you lose the discipline, you lose the self-love, and you lose all the fucking energy and everything that goes along with it. Anyway, so like I said, I know that I will crack at some point or another. It's inevitable. I'm going to fucking fall off. So if I allow myself to do that, if I set aside certain times where I can actually reward myself for the hard work I'm putting in. Now, here's the thing. You can't reward yourself all the time. You got to set certain times to do so. Now, for me, I like to go out and watch football. And when doing so, if I'm out and about, if I'm hanging out with a group downtown or something, I tend to like to have some beverages. It's a real pain in the ass to go out and sip on some water. It just doesn't feel right. So, I decided, since we do have playoff football coming up, we got the UFC fight coming up here soon too. I'm going to allow myself one day a week to drink and to kind of eat whatever I want. I'm still going to do my best to eat, even on those days, do my best to eat a little healthier. Less fried food, less, like I said, sugar and bread and things like that. Trying to minimize that. But there will be one day where I will allow myself to do that. The rest of the week, we're eating healthy, we're eating clean, and no alcohol. At least for the month of January for now. And then we'll kind of just see how it goes from there. We're just going to set our sights on the month of January and see how that goes. So far, so good. So far, it feels good, I think once I get back in the workout routine, it's going to be better. Now, let me tell you this. I thought of something else that I want to try. Something I've never tried before, okay? So, as this last week, what I did was a light lunch. And by light, I literally mean for 3 straight days, I had a banana and a fucking soda water. LaCroix. That's all I had for lunch. And then for dinner, I ate like rice and chicken. One day I had a steak and some green beans. So a healthy dinner, but like still have a full dinner. Next week, I'm going to do a intermittent fasting. So what I'm planning on doing is no food for lunch, nothing for lunch, and 1 meal a day. Just at dinner. Probably like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. 1 meal. That's it. All of next week. And then, 2 weeks from now, I'm going to attempt a 2, possibly 3 day only water. I mean, 2 is pushing it. If I'm feeling all right after 2, I might go for 3. But I'm no promises on 3. I am really strongly going to try 2 days, no food, just water and like coffee, and I'm going to allow myself my vitamin drink that I have in the mornings, just so I can get my vitamins and things like that still. But other than that, I'm going to try it. I'll let you know how it goes, but no promises on 3 days, that's for sure. But I'm going to try for 2, and we'll see how it goes. This is part of the discipline, man. It's just part of seeing what I can push myself to do, and like just trying something new. Like I said, if I allow myself to kind of indulge once a week, I think that will scratch the itch rather than just cutting out everything all at once. I think you kind of got to wean yourself into this lifestyle a little bit. So hopefully the wheels don't fall off like they have in the past. I mean, and we got the Grizz game this weekend, Montana Grizzlies in the national championship for the FBS or FCS, whichever one it is. I think it's the FCS. Whatever it is. We're in the national championship for our college football division. You don't think I'm going to go down there and have a couple of beers and watch the game and enjoy it? Come on. I'm not going to deny myself that. Then the next day, we're back on. We're back on track. We're rocking and rolling. That's just how it's going to have to be. It's not easy. You know, my house is full of candy from Christmas. You know how hard it is to look at that and want it? I have such a bad sweet tooth. I see that all the time, and I have miraculously not eaten any of it. It's tough. Discipline. Got to be disciplined. But hey, again, shout out to the Montana Grizzlies. I'm going to be down there. I'm going to enjoy my time. I'm going to have a couple of beers. Like I said, I'll probably try and eat something a little healthier still that day. But I'm going to have fun. I'm going to enjoy it. And hopefully, by the time this comes out, because that games will have been yesterday, hopefully you're looking at the 3-time national champion Montana Grizzlies. It would be absolutely epic. If not, if for whatever reason we come up short, we don't win the game, super proud of the boys for even getting there and for having such a great team. This was it was a rocky start, but we figured it out. We corrected course and we got it all put together. I think we have a championship-worthy team. Again, if it doesn't happen, still super proud of the boys for even getting there. But if they did, go Grizz, baby. Go Grizz. But I'll be a Grizz fan to the day I die, no matter what. And then tonight, as of this coming out, we'll have the college, the Division I championship, which is Michigan versus Washington, which I accurately predicted last week. So can he do it again? This is going to be a lot tougher. This is going to be a closer matchup. You're going to see a lot of, it's going to be a big defensive versus offensive. And by that, I mean Michigan's defense versus Washington's offense. That's the key matchup. I don't think Michigan's going to have a hard time scoring points. It's whether or not Washington can keep up. Turnovers are clearly going to be a big deal. Quarterback play is going to be a big deal. And coaching. College football coaching is always a much more significant thing than in NFL. Not that it's insignificant, but it plays a bigger role. So, with all that being said, again, this will be a very tough game. I don't think we're going to see a blowout. I think it's going to be tough, hard fought. I'm taking the Washington Huskies. It's not the favorable move. It's not the like I said, the Michigan's the favorite. It's definitely not the move a lot of people are making. But I am. I like the Washington Huskies, and I'll tell you what, if they win the whole thing, it just makes the Grizz look that much better because we beat them 2 years ago. But no, I do have Washington. They're on a 22-game win streak going all the way back to last year. Their quarterback play is great. I think their offense is gritty. It's just a matter of that matchup between Michigan's defense because Michigan's defense is very good. If Michigan wins it all, hey, kudos to them. Nothing against the University of Michigan. Nothing against them. I have nothing, I'm not really a big Huskies fan. This is just my prediction. I have a gut feeling that Washington is going to take it all. So that's my prediction. That's what I got for you. See, drinking water. On the health mode. So how did everybody's New Year's night go? I know last week's episode came out on New Year's Day, so I recorded that before. I didn't know exactly how the New Year's evening, New Year's Eve evening was going to progress. So I'll go ahead and tell you about all that. Unfortunately, my band was scheduled to perform New Year's Eve night. And one of our members got a nasty illness, was unable to perform, and so we made the collective decision to not perform at all. we could have potentially played without him, but as a lot of the guys in the band had mentioned, and it totally resonated with me, was if one of us can't go, none of us can go, because we're a team. We write these songs together. We perform these songs together. We are a unit. We're not going to leave somebody behind in for the effort of trying to play a show. And there was actually another band that had to back out too. So 2 out of the 4 bands couldn't play. It's an unfortunate situation. I feel bad. I apologize profusely to the promoter. We're definitely going to be setting up a show at Bullwhackers again, somewhere close soon down the line. We will set that up very soon. Big apologies to all the fans out there who were looking forward to that. I stopped by, watched a couple of the sets of at the show there, and I just wanted to show up and show my support still. Even though we couldn't play, I had to show up and support the local scene. And again, I just felt really bad about having to cancel that. It's the first show we've ever had to cancel. Sucks that it has to happen, but things come up that you can't control, and so you just gotta go with the flow. Super professional of Jason, promoter at Bullwhackers, to he wasn't a dick about it. He wasn't upset. Obviously, probably pretty disappointed that it had to go down that way, but very professional. And like I said, we're gonna be planning to play a show there again soon. So that was kind of just a wrench. We only found that out the day before, so luckily we were able to give a heads up notice to everybody. But yeah, that was not foreseen. So didn't get to play our show on New Year's. Like I said, I hung out there for a little bit, watched some of the sets. Then I dipped out, went downtown to the Crystal, where I celebrated last New Year's. And then, so I was like, you know what? Let's keep tradition alive. Let's go down to the Crystal, see some friendly faces, hang out. My cousin was there. And I got to tell you, that might have been one of the most anxiety-ridden times of my recent life. And I don't know, I can't even explain it. I'm not a high anxiety person, but I know the Crystal well enough, and I know the city of Billings well enough, and I know how New Year's Eve goes down. People start drinking, people get excited and hooting and hollering, and then the next thing you know, fists are flying, or people are arguing, and I was just it was that anticipation of something popping off at any given moment that had me anxious. We were kind of sitting off to the side. We were kind of secluded a little bit toward the back, so we didn't have a ton of people around us. Nonetheless, I hate confrontation. I don't like when things go awry and when there's physical or verbal confrontation. I hate it. So knowing that was just pretty much inevitable brought me this intense anxiety. And then your boy popped in one of these bad boys. And let me tell you, that killed the anxiety pretty damn quick. Yes, it's official. I am a Zinner. The Zyn is in, baby. And if Zyn is a sin, then I am in. Took a little trip to Zanzibar, and the anxiety went right out the window. I sat back, chilled out, enjoyed my night. I understand why people who are stressed out smoke cigarettes. I get it. I get it now. Because it totally chills you out. Nicotine chills you the fuck out. Now, let me tell you this. This is my new sin. Zyn is a sin. I am in. It's my new vice. Now, here's the other thing. I'm not using this every 2 seconds. I don't need a hit of it all the time. I don't even take this to work. I don't use this at work at all. But I like it. in a situation like that where things are kind of tense, and I like it when I'm drinking. It kind of gives me a nice little head rush, kind of like kickstarts the motor just a little bit. Those are the times I really like to use it. What was I going to say about it? Oh. All my vices that I've ever had in my life have always come later than the average, or what I assume is the average. I didn't start drinking till I was 23. Till I felt like I could handle it emotionally, and I had a better self-awareness of what alcohol can do. And I think that's helped me very much in life. I didn't smoke weed until I was 28? 27 or 28, somewhere in there. Which is the perfect time, because by that time your brain is fully developed. You can like understand what's going on with the weed and all that, and how it's affecting your body and all this shit. I'm not a fan, by the way. I didn't have sex till I was 19, till I was out of high school and understood the risks of STDs and teenage pregnancies and things like that. I avoided all that shit. And now, at the age of 30, nicotine, baby. And again, waited to the perfect time where the Zyn, this doesn't have all the fucking bullshit. This doesn't have the tar or the tobacco or any of that shit. It doesn't cut up your lip. It doesn't have like the glass or whatever that cuts up your lip like a fucking chaw. These things are the shit. In fact, I'm gonna pop one of these motherfuckers in right now. Because, dude, forgive me, Father, for I have Zyned. Oh my gosh. No, they are nice. And so, anyway, like I said, the high anxiety kicked it right out of the door. Had a great rest of the night. And your boy sang the first song of the new year at the Crystal Lounge. Now, the only reason I bring that up is I sang the first song last year. And I had a hell of a year last year. What if it turns out that that's the key? That's the key to having a good new year. Is you have to sing the first song at the Crystal Lounge. Because if so, I'm in for back-to-back kick-ass years. So here we go. The ride has started. The good luck charm has been struck. And we'll see what happens, baby. First song of the year was, I sang Just Like You by 3 Days Grace. And it was killer, too. I almost didn't want to, I almost backed out on it because I wanted to put something different in. And I was like, nah, dude, let's roll with it. And the bar loved it. It was awesome. So anyway, New Year's Eve went off very well. It was a fun time. Starting New Year's Day, that's when all my new habits kicked in. This was all obviously pre-planned for me to do all the eating habits, and like I said, I have been riding averaging about 2 miles on the stationary bike. Starting to just get a little something going. I had to clear out my weight room. It's all cleared out, good to go. So I think starting next week is when I'm going to start adding the lifting in. Just getting the bike going, getting a little cardio in, getting the legs nice and juiced up for that. And then we'll slowly start adding the weights back in. And I'm not going to I'm not just going to go head first into the ice cold water. I'm going to dip the toe in just a little bit. And then eventually we're going to get up to the knees, go to the hips, and then we'll be head first in shortly after that. Just little by little. Because, especially when you were such a degenerate piece of shit like I was last year, the way I was eating and drinking and just having a grand old time, to go from that to a complete lifestyle change, no booze, clean food, working out like hard, it shocks the body. And it can definitely make you sick. So it's good to ease yourself in if you were like far on the other end of the spectrum. And so now, like I said, we're just easing it in. And hopefully we're going to build good habits. We're going to stay disciplined. We're going to keep this train rolling. Hopefully to a more fit and healthy me. Even though I said my test results showed that I was already banger healthy. But, you know, physically I want to look a little better and feel a little better still. So that's the goal now. I guess in addition to some New Year's changes on the horizon for me, I might as well just come out and tell you guys, breaking news. A new goal that I have set for myself, rather a change that's to come for me in this new year. I guess I got to get a sex change operation. I never thought I'd be the one to say it. I never thought I'd be the one to do it. But it seems the only logical option available right now. Because I don't know if you guys heard, but Billie Eilish came out as gay. That's the rumors. That's what's being said, is she came out as a lesbian. And so, listen. I'm a dreamer, right? And I got to keep that dream alive. I got to keep the hope alive that one day I will be with Billie Eilish. And now with this new information coming out, the only logical possibility is for me to get a sex change operation. So that's the breaking news. That's the new thing that's going to have to happen. Sorry to my parents. No, it's but seriously though, does suck to find out that Billie Eilish is in fact lesbian for that sake. But you know what? I will say this. To that, in all honesty, in all seriousness, obviously was never going to have a chance to ever be with her. She's just my celebrity crush and my muse. In all seriousness, there is a part of me. Oh God, I almost spilled my water. There is a part of me that is actually glad to find out that she's a lesbian. Because, to me, no guy will ever be good enough for her. And that might be the gayest thing I've ever said. So, hey, good news. I guess the surgery's off. We don't got to do it anymore because I just absolutely neutered myself by saying what I just said. by uttering that phrase, I just effectively neutered myself. So hey, no need for the surgery anymore. We're good to go. And to counter that point, to counter the point that I just said, and I stand by that. I strongly stand by that statement that no guy will ever be good enough for Billie Eilish. And just the thought of some dude with her angers me so much. However, statistics show that domestic violence rates among lesbian couples are not only higher than gay couples, but higher than hetero couples. Believe it or not. Domestic violence between lesbian couples is higher among any other couple. And believe it or not, again, gay couples, two guys, are less likely to commit domestic violence upon each other than hetero couples. And I think the explanation is pretty clear. It's basically that... Okay, just stop and think about it for a quick second. Who hates women more than other women? Women can't stand each other. Like, think about like two bros that beef with each other, that have some kind of like issue, right? They hash it out. Whether that's immediate. I mean, seriously, like this is a stereotype and kind of like just like something that people like guys say, but it's honestly pretty true. You could get like two dudes can get in a full-on bar fight and buy each other a drink that same night. For real. Like, guys do not hold a grudge. Women, on the other hand, they will hold a grudge to the day they die. How many like mother-daughter situations have you ever heard of where the daughter did something that pissed the mother off and the mother won't talk to the daughter for years? How many situations have you heard where like I don't know, two best friends have some fight? Not like a physical fight, God forbid. If two girls had a physical fight, they would never talk about each other. They'd never stop talking about each other, but they would never remotely let that go. But two girls fight, have an argument, it's a problem for weeks. So, therefore, Billie Eilish being a lesbian, and in all fairness, she's probably bi? I don't know. And it's really, honestly, not that surprising to find that out. I mean, it just isn't. It doesn't come as a huge shock. For one, she's young. She's in this new generation where everybody's fluid. And she kind of looks the part. Let's be honest. But like I said, it makes me happy to know that she'll be with a woman most likely. I think she'd be the dominant one. So I don't think she would fight. I don't think she would hurt her partner or whatever. But the domestic violence rates do show that it's not as good. Just saying, because women do in fact hate each other. Facts. Oh man, it just makes me so sad and angry. And by the way, speaking of anger, let me tell you something. I recently discovered how much I forgot. So just to preface this real quick. I used to be a very angry individual. Okay? Like, growing up, I mean, it's pretty clear, not to self-diagnose myself or nothing like that, but it's pretty clear, my anger stems from my living situation growing up, and, my mom not being around for a lot of it, my dad definitely not being around, and even though I was brought up great, I had my grandma, I had my uncle, I was set up just fine. I don't, look poorly upon the way I was raised. I think I had it definitely better than most. Or not most, but definitely better than a lot of people. But, I was never abused or anything like that. Mostly just mental stuff that creeped in. And I think I was just angry. I was just angry at the world. And I was angry at kids who had two-parent households or kids who had more just nicer lifestyles and things like that. Little did I know it was going to help build me into a better person. All the trials and tribulations I went through definitely made me a better person. But in my youth, you don't think about that. So I was a very angry individual. And it sucks. It really sucks to think about that because, I was pretty mean to my brother, both mentally and physically. I'm not going to say I abused him, but, we fought. We definitely fought, and I definitely, did things I'm not proud of and said things I'm not proud of. And I clearly, I apologize for that behavior, and there's nothing I can do to take that back. But, I fought with my sister, too, and my friends. And I was just overall kind of an angry person. And even coming into my, adult life, there was a good section of my life where I was just angry. And things would trigger me, and I would just be angry. Now, don't get me wrong, I wasn't this raging ball of anger. I wasn't what's it from Kicking and Screaming? I'm a tornado of anger swirling about. That wasn't me, I wasn't doing that. Oh, the anger sharks are swimming in my head. It wasn't like 24/7 or like every day all the time. But I was just easily triggered. And recently, and in between that time and whatever, I can't pinpoint when. I think it's when I moved in by myself. When I gained some individuality, when I realized like I was my own person and I was beyond all that. Like I'd moved past that life and I made a life for myself. I think that gave me peace. And there was probably some other factors, some other things that went along with that. But, like I said, somewhere in my adult life, probably around 23, 24-ish, I came to peace. I became more peaceful. My mindset became more peaceful. And which is great. I love it. I'm so happy. And to that, I've always preached positivity radiates positivity. By being by feeling more at peace, by being a better person, and ultimately having a better outlook, better things happen for me going forward. So yeah. So I'm very grateful for the fact that I was able to overcome that and become a more at peace person. Now, recently, and not to say I'm never, not to say I'm just without anger ever. Of course. I mean, everybody deals with that and everybody has those emotions. Definitely way less than before, The things that fire me up are mostly, like video games would fire me up a lot. Sports fire me up. But then, I can be at peace afterwards. I can be mad in the moment and then let it go. I used to not be able to let things go. I used to let it just like fester inside of me. And I don't do that anymore. That's just not part of who I am anymore. Now, I keep almost getting to the point and then reverting back. I'll get to the point. Recently, I had a very decent bout of anger. This is not with any individual. This is not with, this is a work-related thing. It was a frustration I had at work, okay? And I was fucking furious at work about it's like I said, not a person, a situation, okay? And I find work pisses me off fairly often, I guess. Not all the time, but probably the one constant in my life that does make me angry from time to time. And like I said, this last week, not this week, but last week, I had a little flare up of anger. And it dawned on me that while anger is bad, and while I don't like to be angry, anger, for me at least, I don't know about everybody out there, it's definitely not everybody, but for me, anger does fuel productivity. Because let me tell you, I throw on some heavy metal and I let that anger just I feel that. I don't project it. That's not a good thing. That's something I've learned as well, to not project my anger onto others. But I channeled it into working harder. And let me tell you, dude, all week I was hammering shit out. I was productive. I was on fire. You know what I'm saying? So if you're an angry person, let me just say this to anybody out there who might deal with anger. Control it, Focus that energy into positive things. Because in reality, anger can serve a purpose. It's a negative feeling and it's a negative emotion. But all emotions can be channeled into positivity. So if you can channel your anger into a productive manifestation, it can really fuel you. And I just noticed it because I was thinking about it too. I remember, like I said, in my youth, while I was angry a lot, I did get shit done. It made me focus on writing songs, on like when I worked at McDonald's, I was pissed a lot. When I worked at Olive Garden, I was pissed a lot, but I got shit done. And like I think it just kickstarts something in your brain that you're like almost hyper focused on certain things because you're trying to get your mind off whatever is making you angry. So you're hyper focused on that thing. At least that's how I channel my anger more as of now. And when I worked at Olive Garden, I was in my more peaceful time. But again, things make me angry still. You just gotta channel it. You just gotta focus it on better things. And hey, you know what? It was just one of those aha moments that I had that I just was like, it can be a good thing. You can focus that energy into productivity. So that was just a point I wanted to make about anger. Like I said, I lived a lot of my life as an angry person. And now I've grown past that. But if you can use whatever, because I don't have like long-standing anger anymore. I'm not angry at anything that happened in my past. I'm not angry at I don't have long-term anger. All my anger is always just short-term. It's always situational. And so if you can take that and focus it on something good, hey, turn a negative into a positive. Not a bad thing. But you know what else is making me kind of angry lately? In a much different way. But it's more of an annoying thing, more of a frustrating thing to see. The Broncos just announced that Russell Wilson was benched, and there's a lot of speculation that Russell Wilson is not going to be a Bronco next year. Now, all of that is whatever. I can't control any of that. When it comes to contract issues or his playing ability or his relationship with the head coach, all that stuff goes into play here. And it's all understandable. I get it. It's a business. I'm not going to be pissed if they fire Russell Wilson and they move on to something else. It sucks because now the Broncos are just back to their regular, it's back to the status quo, the same issues we've been having for the last 10 years, where it's this revolving door of quarterbacks and head coaches and all this bullshit. It sucks. It sucks as a fan to have to see that. But that's not what pisses me off. The thing that's been pissing me off is how fast the media, the sports media, has changed their tune. For the last year and a half, I've heard nothing but how stupid of a trade that was, how much money they're paying this guy, how washed up Russell Wilson is, what a cheesy guy he is. It's all been negative media surrounding Russell Wilson, which it was also annoying. That's my guy. That's my quarterback. That's the guy I got to lean on. I don't want to hear all the negativity. Some of it's warranted and some of it's not. This whole last year, I thought he played great. Not great. He played good. He played way better than he did last year. He showed improvement. It was a positive. We were moving in a positive direction. He did a lot of good things this year, and I stood by him. I thought he did great this year, and still everybody couldn't help themselves but shit on him. And now that the Broncos organization seemingly is looking to move on from him, all the sports media has changed their tune and is saying the Broncos organization really gave him the shaft. They really screwed him over. He doesn't deserve this. Oh, he actually was playing pretty good. Bro, where was this energy all this time? Now you want to defend the guy? Now you want to have his back? When after a year and a half, all you could do was shit on him and talk about what a piece of shit he was? What the hell? I mean, this is media in a nutshell. They're just going to go with whatever narrative plays out on the screen, and whatever is clicky. It's just funny to me how they were trashing him and stomping on him, and now they want to lift him up and be like, oh, he doesn't deserve this. Oh, he actually was playing so good. Fuck you guys. That is so bullshit. Now, don't get me wrong. I agree with both. I think that the organization has treated him poorly. I think that they're not giving him a fair shake. I think Sean Payton, seemingly, like I said, we don't know what's happening in like behind closed doors. This is all just speculation. It does seem like Sean Payton and him don't have the right relationship. It seems like he's not the guy Sean Payton wants as his quarterback. It would seem that way. And that's fine. And I agree. I think it sucks that like we brought this guy in. He was supposed to be the guy for the future. Yeah, I agree he didn't play up to his standards. I agree we overpaid him. All of that's true. But the media is just changing their tune every week about the situation. And it's irritating. It really is. It's frustrating. It doesn't make me angry, but it does make me frustrated to see all that. Because I've had the dude's back since day one. And yeah, I criticized him when he needed to be criticized, when he did dumb things and said dumb things. But I also had his back when he was doing good things. And even in the bad times, I'm like, that's still the guy. That's still our quarterback. I can't, like, hate the guy. And he's never really done anything to deserve to be hated. He's a hard worker. He's a good teammate. And he's not the player he once was. He's still a fine player. And so it just frustrates me to see that now everybody wants to have his back and everybody wants to be his buddy and whatnot. We'll see what the future holds. If the Broncos decide to move on and, save some money in the process and use that to build the team further, perhaps draft a quarterback this year, which is a heavy quarterback draft class, more power to them. Again, I can't control it. I'm just a fan. I got to live with whatever decisions they make. So that was just something I had to bring up, was this whole Russell Wilson thing, because goddamn, that was just irritating. All week, all the last 2 weeks. That's all they've been talking about. So it's just that situation in and of itself. And plus, I figured, me being a huge Broncos fan, I should probably address the Russell Wilson stuff that's going on. But yeah, that's enough of that. The Zinny. See, the anger also, pop in one of these bad boys and the anger starts to chill out. You just get in a chill headspace. Now, let me be very clear. I am not advocating for everybody out there to go on, get some Zyns and see what, make your own decisions. Don't let me influence you to get on nicotine. But forgive me, Father, for I have Zyned, and I am in. I'm all Zyn, baby. I'm all Zyn. Oh, can't. We're getting toward the end here, but I cannot leave this episode without bringing up probably the biggest news currently going on. The Jeffrey Epstein files are starting to come out. This is the big news, man. This is what we've been waiting for. We need to see that client list. We need to see the list of the people that were on that plane. We haven't gotten the full list yet. We haven't gotten all that. It's like a 900-page document of all the stuff going on right now. And hopefully we get to see that list, because it's important. I'll tell you what right now. We're in an election year. Guarantee we don't see that list until after the election. Realistically, because we've already heard Bill Clinton's name being mentioned, which is fucking no surprise at all. But God knows what names are on that list. It wouldn't shock me to find out the Obamas are on there. Wouldn't shock me to find out the Clintons the Bidens are on there. I think it's pretty obvious that Trump is involved. Like he had connections to Epstein. We've seen the pictures. Could you imagine if all that shit came out? If Trump and Biden were the two candidates, let's just say, theoretically, it seems to be that way. What if all those documents came out showing that both those dudes made trips to that island right before the election? Better yet, what I could see happening, because, I don't think anybody wants either of those guys in reality. Of course, there's a lot of people who really do want Trump. But I'm not talking about the public. I'm talking about the fuckers in the pieces of shit, in the corrupt people in Washington. They don't want either of those guys. So what if, this is the way I could see it going down. After the election, whoever gets elected, then the files come out, and then we get an impeachment, no matter what. Whoever it is, and then they get whoever else to come in. I could see it being a high possibility. Now, while we don't, in fact, have the list of people who were on the plane, we do have a list of names that have been discovered in the documents that have been put out there so far. Now, disclaimer, none of these, like the people whose names were in this, these documents, it doesn't implicate them as having done anything wrong. But if your name is even remotely involved at the same time as Jeffrey Epstein, that's not a good thing. Because you're either a victim or a perpetrator. And you don't want your name involved with Jeffrey Epstein's name whatsoever. And so, there's a few interesting names on this list. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole whole list because there's quite a few. A lot of them. There's some doctors. There's some lawyers, and a lot of people that are of no interest. Or not to say that they're of no interest, but like they're really unknowns per se. Let's just go through a couple of these. Ghislaine Maxwell, obviously we knew that. Prince Andrew, we knew that. He's implicated as a perpetrator. Bill Clinton, again, no real shocker there. Now, the Bill Clinton thing kind of is funny to me because while we have yet to see the hard evidence that he was a perpetrator, it's been fairly well documented that he was on that plane and that he did visit Little St. James. All the media outlets, let's just say all the liberal media outlets, have been so hard on making sure to say that nothing implicates him. Well, let's just say this. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Jeffrey Epstein, a known, I'm not going to say the word, but a known bad guy. You know what word I'm thinking. But I know that word's pretty, like, it can get you in trouble on YouTube and shit. A known bad dude. Ghislaine Maxwell. No, let's just say this. Not known. A convicted bad guy. Ghislaine Maxwell. Convicted of heinous things. That you know what I'm talking about. We know that island hosted bad things. We know that plane made thousands, well, it's hundreds, thousands, whatever, several visits to that island with Bill Clinton on the plane. Bill Clinton, somebody who has been, not accused, found guilty of sexual misconduct while he was in office and lied about it. He's on tape lying about it. So again, while none of this does in fact implicate him yet, where there's smoke, there's fire. Does it not seem pretty obvious? You know, if it quacks like a duck, if it looks like a duck, it probably is a duck. Donald Trump, we knew that. We've seen pictures. Hillary Clinton, no surprise there, with Bill being involved. This one comes as a bit of a shock. David Copperfield. What? I mean, that's not so absurd because, you know, magicians are kind of weird. Magicians, who likes magic more than children, right? You know? I mean, that's a pretty fascinating thing for children. Children like magic. I mean, did he bring them there to entertain them? Was Copperfield's input in all this to entertain the trafficked children? Or was he there to enjoy himself? That's an odd one. And let's make no bones about it. David Copperfield looks like a creep. Also, let's say this too with the Bill Clinton thing. Let's just say hypothetically, Bill Clinton didn't do anything. If he made that many trips to the island, don't you think he'd know about it? So if he knew about it and didn't do anything, he still didn't say anything. He still didn't expose what was going on. That's your ex-president. That's a man of power who could have done and said something to stop it. You don't think he was doing something? Let's continue the list. John Connolly, New York police detective turned investigative journalist. Okay, that could just be part of the documents. It's not saying that he was on the flight. Alan Dershowitz, lawyer. Leonardo DiCaprio. Now, what the hell would his name be doing in these documents? Why would he be involved? What's his position in all this? Curious. I mean, it's not like Leo DiCaprio has a history of liking young women, right? That's not a thing, right? That's not like a known thing about Leo DiCaprio. How young does he like them? Al Gore. Ooh, spicy. Another Democrat. See, and this is the thing too. This is the thing too about why so much of this liberal media wants to keep this really hush-hush. Now, if there was a hit list of people that they didn't like that went to this island, oh boy, they would be blasting it. Trump's on this list, but there's a lot of other people, so they want to keep it on the hush, because if he goes down, they all go down. Stephen Hawking. Now, I just recently read a thing that said Stephen Hawking, this was, I think, Ghislaine Maxwell's, what do you call it? Her, this is from her mouth. She said this. Stephen Hawking apparently went to that island, and the thing that got him off, this is no joke. This is crazy. He liked to watch naked little people try to solve impossible math problems on a too high chalkboard. A chalkboard that was too high for them to reach. That is what one of the smartest men in the world got off on Jeffrey Epstein's island. Huh? Everything you know is a lie. Everything you know about the known human world right now is a complete fucking lie. That is unbelievable. Michael Jackson. What? Michael Jackson? Well, where did that come from? That's crazy to think he could be involved in this. Kevin Spacey? Again, who'd have thought? An accused assailant has some connection to Epstein? What the hell? George Lucas? And then Kate Blanchett? No, Naomi Campbell? Bruce Willis? And then the list, Cameron Diaz. And then the list kind of goes on. Chris Tucker. We've heard about him. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Another liberal guy. Now, like I said, and then the list goes on. But like I said, this doesn't implicate that these people were in fact on that plane that went to the island. But again, do you really want your name being brought up in the same vein as Jeffrey Epstein? I don't think so. And again, where there's smoke, there's fire. So we'll see how this progresses, and believe you me, I will be talking about every second of it, because this is what we needed these documents out fucking 2 years ago when all this shit went down. To know that this was a thing and there is high profile people, corporate people, politicians, actors, influential people that potentially engaged in heinous activity that we all find despicable, they need to be brought to justice. And this is not this will, if that list comes out and the people who have been accused are found guilty, it will change everything. It will rock the foundation of all media, all politics, everything. And that list needs to come out. So stay tuned for that, because it's coming. All right, I think that's going to wrap us up on that. Appreciate you guys for listening to this week's episode. If you haven't yet, please like, share, subscribe, follow Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube. Stay disciplined, guys. I know it's the new year. We got goals. We got plans coming throughout this year. Stay disciplined, because when you're disciplined, you're showing how much you love yourself. If you can avoid some vices, like the old Zyned, if you can avoid them, hey, you're helping yourself. You're doing good things for yourself. If you can push yourself to work out, if you can push yourself to take the extra time to complete those projects and to complete your goals, you're doing yourself a very big service. If you're an angry person, hey, convert that anger into good things, motivation, positivity. It's all possible. And my dreams of Billie Eilish have been dashed. But hey, nothing a little Zen can't help. But most importantly, don't forget, life's a garden. Dig it.
Just gotta keep on